Texas right now. I'm going to go ahead and get the animals taken care of. My husband and I had about a 36-hour bug sickness, so we were in bed for a day and a half. So I am now back out getting the animals taken care of this morning. I feel better. I get a little dizzy from exertion, but you know, that's to be expected. I haven't eaten in 2 days. So we're going to take care of the animals real quick. I got a lot of stuff I got to do this morning, but I'm making sure that they got bedding and the water's not frozen over and stuff. So I'm going to finish up here and then get back into the warm house. Woo, it's cold out here. Well, hi everyone. Welcome back to my savage homestead. Today I've got to get a lot of things taken care of, bedded down for the winter time, and one of them is taking care of my fruit trees. I'm about a month behind, but they didn't lose their leaves until about last week, so I wanted to wait until they were dormant before I start cutting the branches off. And then I usually fertilize my fruit trees in April and then again in October. But I missed the October feeding. Again, I was waiting for all the leaves to fall off the trees, and they finally have fallen off. So today my project is to trim up my fruit trees, get all the little straggly branches that are on the lower part of the trees, and then if they're facing or downward or they're crossing another branch, they have to come off. Just get those ready to go. And then I have over here, right there in that cage, is my fruit trees. Because of the situation I had with my knee, my husband and I didn't get around to starting the tropical greenhouse where my citrus trees go into. So they have to get covered up again and put in underneath the tarp for the winter again to preserve them. They made it through the winter last year, so I'm hoping they're going to make it this year. But been a little cooler this year, which is odd. So I have a feeling we might have a cooler winter. So I'm going to go ahead and start trimming up my fruit trees. I'm not an expert at this, but I do know that if they cross over each other, if they face down, or any new sprouts up at the bottom of the base of the tree need to come out. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm in my citrus cage right now, trying to get everything, all the weeds cleared out of the buckets, and then I can fertilize with some citrus fertilizer for the winter time. And then we're going to start covering these puppies up here. But I've been through 15 right now. I lost 2, and those were apples. I always have a hard time with apples here. I just don't know why. They just don't want to grow here. But my other stuff, let me turn this around, is starting to look really good. So I got my citrus trees, which are my lemons, my limes, my oranges, my tangerines. I do have one grapefruit in here. This apple tree made it. This was just a whip, and anybody knows what a whip is. It's just a tiny 1 to 2 inch stick that they send you like this. And then you plant it. And this is year 2 for this tree. So this is an apple tree. And this one made it. But I still gotta get back there. And back there are tropical stuff like banana plants and all that. And I can see some of them have curled back because we had, I think, a couple of nights last month of 30. And I think banana plants like 32. So I'm just going to have to start going further back and seeing what my plants are doing. But my fig tree, that was a whip, looks really good. That one came in. I got another apple tree here that's trying. This one was a whip, and I don't see, yeah, I do. I see little buds on there. And then this one is, if I can tell, is a plum tree. That one's plum. So I'm going to step back a little further in. This one looks like an apple tree, just by the leaves. This one looks like an apple tree by the leaves. And then my fig tree, right there, has little buds at the top of it. These were all newly planted last year, so they're now starting to, they made it through the whole winter, and now they're getting ready to make it through another winter. But this tree here was a whip, and this is an apple tree, and this one is a Honeycrisp, so that one made it. So I'm very pleased about that. And then this one's an apple as well. This one's got a year on it than this one, and I don't know what apple it is, but it is an apple tree. So I just got to get further back here and take care of some stuff. And see this one's a Granny Smith, and this one made it. I think I had 12 apples. I just pulled 2 out. So I need to get back there, make a path, so that I can come in the winter time, and when it's a nice warm day above freezing, then I can give them some water in here. But these are all lined up, weeded. They just need their fertilizer. So let me continue. Okay, so I got in there. I got them all lined up again, as you can tell. Got all the weeds out of the buckets. Now I have to fertilize. But so I'm going to stop for today. Got other stuff I got to do inside, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and then tomorrow morning I'll come out and I'll fertilize them, and then I'll soak them as much as I can, and probably put a little more soil in the containers as well. But other than that, I lost two apples, so that's not too bad. Could have been worse. Hi everyone, and welcome back. You know, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I'm going to go ahead and make a pie today. My daughter is going to go ahead and do a cheesecake and pumpkin pie, and she's going to bring it over, but I do the chocolate cream pie, so we're going to do a chocolate cream pie for you today. None of the box pudding stuff. Chocolate pudding off the stove. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to need 1 pie shell, and you're going to need to have this pre-cooked before you start making your pudding pie filling. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven for about 10 minutes at 450 degrees and get this cooked. And then we're going to go ahead and get started on making the chocolate cream pie for, at least for me, it's going to be from our Thanksgiving tomorrow. So let's go ahead and get started on this. Alright, before we get started, you're going to need a large saucepan, and you're going to need 3 cups of whole milk. You're going to need semi-sweet chocolate. These are the squares that you get at the store. They're not chocolate chips. These are actually the squares. You're going to need 4 of those. And then you're going to need 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch. This is going to be your base to start with to make your chocolate cream pie. Okay, first thing you're going to do is you're going to put your 1/4 cup of cornstarch in the saucepan, and then a cup of white sugar. Now you're going to slowly pour in your 3 cups of whole milk. You're going to stir that up, and you're going to turn your stove to medium. Now you're going to constantly be stirring this once you put the chocolate in. That way you don't have it burning on the bottom. And while you got your milk warming up on the stove, you are going to use 3 eggs, and you just want the yolks of the 3 eggs. So you're going to separate those from the whites. Now that you have your yolks separated, you're going to slice off 1 tablespoon of butter, because you're going to need this, and your vanilla. So you're just going to open your vanilla and have it ready to go. So 3 egg yolks, tablespoon of butter, and your teaspoon of vanilla. Those are waiting in the wings as soon as you get your base of your pudding started. Now that we got our milk warming up, we're going to do 4 semi-sweet pieces of chocolate. And you're going to stir this up until it melts. Just going to keep stirring and stirring until those chocolate pieces are melted in your milk mixture. Okay, now that we have the chocolate melted in here, we're just going to keep stirring it until it starts to have a low boil, a little bubble to it. But we're going to keep stirring so that we don't burn the chocolate in the bottom of the pan. So this is going to be about 5 to 10 minutes, but you're going to be standing over your stove now watching this, because you don't want to get distracted and go somewhere and come back, because the chocolate, even though it looks like chocolate milk right now in here, the chocolate will settle to the bottom, and then you get your burnt chocolate pudding. So let's just go ahead and keep stirring this, and we'll come back in about 5 minutes. Okay, I've turned it down to low. It's getting pretty close. Starting to bubble up, and I can see it's getting thicker in here. That's what I want. So we're about 3 minutes into it right now, and it's looking really good, and it's starting to thicken up. That's what we want. So I'm going to let this do a low bubble boil for about another minute. Okay, we're at the 5-minute mark. We're going to turn off the heat, and we're going to very quickly whisk in the egg yolks. You don't want to just slowly drizzle it in, because what you're going to get is you're going to get scrambled eggs in your mix. So you're going to have to be really prepared to whisk this really hard once it starts. So here we go. See? No scrambled eggs in there. So then you're going to throw in the 1 tablespoon of butter. And then you can do 1 teaspoon or 1 tablespoon of vanilla. That's what you want. You want a pudding. Okay, so this is done, so we're going to take it off the stove, and we're going to transfer it over to a cooked pie shell. Okay, So your cooked pie shell, you're going to dump your chocolate pudding in there. We're just going to go ahead and let that cool down. When it gets probably about another 20 minutes, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put a saran wrap on top of it so it doesn't get that thick film on the top of the pie. So right now we're just going to let this cool. Okay, so I'm going to come back here and I'm just going to go ahead and put some plastic on top of this. That way we don't get that thick, crusty film on top that you find on puddings. So we're going to go ahead and leave this and let it cool the rest of the way. And while you're letting that cool in the pie shell, you're going to need some chocolate chips. About, I want to say, half a cup whipping cream and powdered sugar. That is going to be your cream on top of your chocolate pie. So we're going to let the pie cool, and then we're going to come back and we're going to whip this up. Okay, now that the pudding in the pie shell has cooled, we're going to go ahead and put 2 cups of heavy cream in a bowl. And we're going to put in half a cup of powdered sugar. And we're just going to blend this up until it starts to form peaks. You don't want to overbeat it, because if you overbeat it, then you're going to get a sweet butter. Now that you got it whipped up, you're just going to put it on top of your chocolate pudding. You want to make sure that your pie is cool, because if you stick this whipping cream on top of your pie before it's cooled, it will melt. It will liquefy in the fridge. So make sure that your pie is completely cooled before you top it with the whipped cream. We're just going to spread this on top. Doesn't that look delicious? Okay, now that you're done putting the whipped cream on it, you're just going to sprinkle some chocolate chips on there. You can do mini chocolate chips or big chocolate chips. Mine are a little white dusty because I keep mine in the freezer. But my grandkids like to take the chocolate chips off the pie when they think I'm not looking. I always know they're stealing the chocolate chips off of the pie. I don't care. They think they're getting one on me and they're not. But I put enough on there so that those little hands can steal as many chocolate chips as they want. There you have it. Chocolate cream pie from scratch. How easy was that? Didn't take a lot of time, did it? So I'll see you on the next video. I hope you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe, and y'all have a good night and a happy Thanksgiving.